Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first episode for the Empower Biz Live. So today we have a special guest. She is originally from Mexico, but currently residing in North Carolina, United States. But before we bring her to the stage, let's introduce ourselves. So I'll start with me. So for those who doesn't know me, my name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama. I reside in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I work in the movie industry and I'm a digital business owner. Jerusha? Oh, you're muted.
So sorry about that, folks. Hello, everyone. My name is Drusha May. I'm originally from the Philippines. I currently reside in Ontario, Canada. I've been working in the education field as a registered early childhood educator for about 5 to 6 years now, and I'm also a digital business owner. And
Hi,
we can move
everybody.
on to,
It ends.
Hi, guys.
I
Hello,
believe.
this is Edens. I'm originally from Panama. I'm residing right now in Tampa, Florida. And I'm a team manager and also now a digital business owner.
This is Dorothy.
Hi, I am Dorothy. Hello, hello. I am from the Philippines originally and now here in Canada, Alberta. And I am a customer representative officer and a proud digital business owner.
Thank you, Sis Dorothy. Jen?
Hi, I'm Jen, and I work as an insurance broker uh, by profession. I have three wonderful children, eight grandchildren, and I joined this business because I find that this is really a legitimate business.
Thank you, Jen. Okay, so we are going to, before we bring our guests, I just want to remind that every Tuesday and every Thursday, we have a live webinar. So at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST. So if you want to catch the replay from Thursday, here are the hosts and panelists for that day. Okay, so our host for that day was Rebecca. She's a buyer and planner. And our first panelist is May. She's a health administrator assistant. Then we have Tina. She's a registered nurse. And also Alma, registered nurse. Jerusha? Okay, we also have Maida. She's a OR
Oh, so
nurse.
sorry.
And also we have Abesco, a former public school teacher. And we also have Joyce, a full time mom, and Jonathan, a registered nurse. So, yeah, so if you want to catch the replay, you can just register in any of our websites. And you can, and we're going to send you the link so you can watch the replay for this one. And again, the reminder for our webinars is every Tuesday and every Thursday, 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST. Okay. All right, so let's bring our guest to this studio. Hi, Isabel. Thank you for coming.
Hello, everyone. Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. So, my name is Isabel Vargas. I'm originally from Mexico. I came here to the States, to the United States, when I was 12 years old with my parents. I am the second of seven kids. So I have a big family. I am married. I have three children, and now I have a grandson as well. So I work for the school system as a teacher assistant, and I also have my digital business.
Thank you, Isabel. Okay, so let's start with the first question. So, can you introduce yourself to us? So, who is Isabel Vargas?
Yes, so I'm just a normal person. Like I said, I came from Mexico when I was 12, but I wasn't really able to go to school and get an education because I started working very early in age, to help out my parents with all the bills and all the things that they had to pay. As I said earlier, we have a large family, so I had a lot of small siblings and stuff, and I needed to help them so we could provide for the family. Um, I also did get married very early in life. I had my first daughter when I was 20. And so I was very responsible at very early age. But when I had my daughter was like a complete life change for me because I was just happy that I had something of my own, somebody that I could love and spend time with. But unfortunately, soon after I had her, I had to find a job, get to work, so I could provide now for my daughter. And so that's been my life, working. I worked as the waitress. I worked in a company as a packer. Then I worked in retail. So I've been having job after jobs. And one of my longest jobs that I had in corporate was working for a company for over 20 years. And during this time, I had, my other two kids. And really, I was so focused on work and giving them the best that I could that I was focused on working. I took additional hours, working overtime without realizing that I was missing out a lot of memories and good time with my children. So yes, that's me.
Yeah, I think that's the story of a lot of parents that are in the same situation. They need to provide for their kids, so they work a lot, and because of that, that they're providing, they neglected, like spending time with their kids. That's a very common thing that we see a lot. And it's because, like the circumstance, like you need to pay for the food, for the rent, and everything's going so it's becoming so expensive to afford. So they have sometimes to work 2 3 jobs. Like I know some of the business owners, when the reason why they joined the business is because, um, her kid was asking to her mom, why is it that, when you come, dad leaves, or vice versa, and it's because, someone has to stay with the kid. But then they never had that time where the two of them were present with their family. So that made her realize, I need to look for a change, to be able to spend time with my family. So that's when she decided to look for something, and then she found this business that now, it has allowed her to be able to both of them to be there, for their kids. So that's something,
Mhm.
that many times sometimes we realize it, on time, but sometimes, we realize it like later. For me, for example, I don't have kids, but I did have like niece and nephews that were living here in Vancouver at the time. And because of my long hours, I miss a lot of birthdays because I couldn't go because of my long hours. So, or sometimes, I had to go like after work, so they were just waiting for me to sing the happy birthday. So that really shows, um, that sometimes, because we need to work, we need to we cannot set up our own schedule. We are like part of the we have to adapt to the schedule of the business, and sometimes that's not flexible to be able to be with our family and spend that time with our family. So let's proceed with the second question.
So, for our second question, what led you, Isabel, to discover this business opportunity?
Hmm. Thank you for the question. Um, During the pandemic, as everybody knows, it came and changed so many lives. I was working on my job that I said I worked for 20 years. And since, the schools closed, everything closed, my son or my kids had to be home, homeschooled, because it was, at that time, everything was virtual. And I thought about it. I'm like, well, they're going to need me. And I wanted to be here to feed them and make sure that they were doing their work that they had to do for school. So that's when I made the decision, to quit my job that I had and stay home with them. But like I said, I started working very, very young. So I'm not the type of person to stay home without doing anything else. So I started looking, for other options I could do online. I was actually looking for a job I could do online. And I didn't find anything at the time. So when school opened back up, I started looking for a job within the school system so that I could have the same schedule as my kids. But then it wasn't until last year when I came across an ad about the digital business, and it really caught my attention because the lady was talking about she was at a game with her daughter, and she was talking about how she had time for her to be with her in her after school activities. And that resonated with me because I needed the same thing for me. So I watched the ad. I sent a message to ask about the business, and I watched the webinar, and I liked everything that was offered during the webinar. I talked to my husband about it, but then I didn't take action right away. I waited a little longer and kept watching the webinar one time after another. But that's how I discovered this business. Sandy, you're muted.
For me also, I discovered it last year. I was actually, I've been looking for something, like to do online and to be portable, because I've been working in the movie industry since 1998. So I really enjoyed all this time, but sometimes you get to your point where you need some change. And I got to that point. Um, but I was still working, trying to find something. So, but yes, last year, sometimes, I think God puts you, like some setbacks just to reroute you to the right path. And I think that was my case last year. So there was a strike that usually, it doesn't last that long, but it lasted, almost 8 months. So by the month of July, I saw that this was for the long run. So I say, okay, I need to find something. And then actually, I was about to join another business, affiliate marketing. But God, for some reason, put me this ad that pop up on my, like I've seen so many ads that were popping up, but I never click on the ad. I just saw them. But this one came and I said, you know what? What I get to lose to watch it. So let's watch what they say. So I click on the ad and then I watch it. And then when I watch the ad, I really pick my interest. So then like I watch it and I pay, and then I saw all I pay the 149, and then I saw the rest of the what the business offer. And then you really like it because you click check all the boxes that I was looking for on the business, which one of the things that I love about this business is the portability that they have. And then also the flexibility too. So once I found out this, and then I was exposed also to the community, because I had the opportunity to travel to Calgary, and then I saw the community, and that also sold me out, because the community is like a family. It's like a second family that you have. They're always there for you to support you, to help you, like for technical stuff, because it's 24/7, because we're global. And also, you make so many connections around the globe. Every time that, like we had lives on other lives that I've done, we get to meet people from different places of the world, and those are new connections that you get to meet. So your circle of connections expands. So this is really nice that I love about this business. Okay, so the next question.
Okay, Isabel, did you or your husband have any thoughts when you first learned about this business?
Sure. I had doubts, but I did my research. I checked everything, like I said, when I came across the ad and I watched the webinar. I did my research, and the more I found, the more I fell in love with, because I liked everything about the business. But then when I talked to my husband about it, he didn't think it was legit. He said, "You're going to get a scam, that they're going to take your money and you're not going to get anything." And, we left it at that because he didn't want me to join. But my heart, I had a feeling that kept telling me that this was what I was looking for. So, I thought about it and I was like, well, what's going to happen if they do take my $149 that we have to pay, to get more information about the business. I was like, can I live without it? Is that going to be okay? And, I knew it wasn't a big deal to lose that if it was a scam. So I decided to pay that and get more information about the business. But my husband was definitely skeptical about it until I received, I invested in the business. I received my box, came in with my product, and he was like, what is that box? And, I go ahead and told him that I had joined the business, that I had invested. And the only thing he said was like, okay, well, now you have to commit to the business. You have to make sure that you actually spend time and dedicate time to run that business since you decided to invest in it. But that's what I wanted anyway. So it wasn't a big deal to me that he told me I had to really invest time because I already had my mind on that. So that's how everything started. And, like I said, I started the business. It's been a little bit over a year and I've been very happy with it, learning a lot and meeting a lot of people.
Thank you, Isabel. Yeah, me too. I was like you, for the $149, I was like, is it something that is gonna hurt me, like if I lose it or not? So it wasn't a big amount, like $1,000, $2,000. So then I decided to proceed to know more about the business, so I can relate that to you. And also in terms of having a skeptical part, spouse, this is something that actually we touched a little bit this week on our mastermind. We heard so many cases in the community where some of them, like will have the spouse that is not that is very skeptical. So what they were saying, like the people that have deal with this, is that you need to talk to your spouse and say, I understand you're skeptical, but this is what I want to do, and I hope you support me, instead of like kind of like hiding it, because some people were hiding it, the business. So it's better, it's recommended that you talk to your spouse and that they understand, that this is what you want to do, and they give you the support that you need. Like, if just give you the space, if they don't want to be part of it at the moment because they don't really understand the business, just let you do the business, and like, don't give like negative comments or stuff like that. But many times, this is a case that we have seen in our community. Many cases, those skeptical husbands are later the ones that are going to go to the mailbox, pick up the checks. So yeah, so they turn out to change because they see the business works. So yeah. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Oh, just a second.
So,
Okay, go ahead.
how did you feel about the initial investment required for starting the business?
Okay. So before I answer this, all my, well, not all, but some of my brothers and sisters, they have traditional businesses. And so I know what an investment is for a traditional business, especially if you want to like get a franchise or if you want to open up your own restaurant or ice cream place or whatever, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars to get that going. And I always knew that I didn't want to have a traditional business just from seeing them, that they're like hostage in these places, like where they have to be there all the time. And, it doesn't matter if it's weekends, whatever, they have to be there present running their business so that they can, take care of their customers or whatever. So I knew that I didn't want that because I didn't want to be in a place. When I saw the initial investment for this business, my husband did think that it was high, but to me, knowing that my what my brothers and sisters had paid to have their own business, for me, it wasn't that much. So it's all about the will. Do you really want this? They said if there's a will, there's a way, right? And I knew that yes, it was a good investment, not as much as a traditional, but I also saw all the testimonials and everything that it was doing for other people. How it was changing their lives. So to me, it wasn't a big investment to begin with, but you do have to. Think about it. And if this is something you want, you have to find a way. Maybe you need to get a loan, or I don't know, ask family for money and then pay them back later. But when you really want something, you're going to find a way to do it. So like I said, the investment wasn't huge for me, but we all have different circumstances. So I don't know, for other people it may be dependent on what their situation is.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like the investment. Like when there is a will, like you say, you find the ways to find the money. If you really want to change your life, and a good example is that of that is when Isabel and I we went to Japan, we were able to listen to many speakers, and one of them was a speaker from India. And then he as many of you know that India is not a rich country; it's a very poor country. But they saw the potential of this business, so he accumulated $4,000 in 3 months to be able to start his business. So if you really want to change your life, even though it takes you longer to get the amount of money, um, you work for it, and then you can start your business. So if you really want to change your life, there's different ways that you can do it. Either like you pay with a credit card and then you pay small amounts every month, or um, you take a credit line or stuff like that. But yeah, if you want to change your life, there's a way. Always you find a way how to find the money to be able to start your business and start changing your life. Okay, so our
Yes,
next
and
question.
I want to add something else.
Yes.
Sorry. A lot of people reach out, when because we have our ads running and stuff, and they'll reach out and they said, I want to start the business, but I don't have any money to invest. Well, first of all, I'm sorry, but it's a business. You have to do an investment in a business, because let's say that it was free. How much will you take care of it? How would you really dedicate your time to something that didn't cost you anything? And there's nothing free in life anymore. This is a business, and it's a legit business. So you have to invest in it to get your fruits. It's like, like people say, they always use this metaphor about you have to plant the seed to get the fruits. Well, yes, there's actually different stages. You plant the seed, then your plant is going to grow, then it's going to have the flowers, then it's going to have the fruit. So it's the same thing for the business. You have to do an investment to have a business, and then work on it to receive um, your fruits from it. So it's not any different than any other business. You still have to invest.
Yeah. And the other thing, now that you mentioned that, is, like many times people want to see results fast, like I invested, I want to see results fast. But if you think about it, any traditional business, when they start their business, even like 2 or 3 years, they don't see a return of investment. It's usually, either they still in the negative side, or if they manage that, it's just like in I don't know how to say, but like the same amount for
They
negative.
Yeah,
Sorry, go
they
ahead.
break even to keep it
Yeah,
running.
like break even. Yeah, that's the right word. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this business actually it helps you, to get that money before that, but it all depends of all your effort that you put in the business. So like, like we mentioned, if you really want to change your life, you work harder the first couple of years, but eventually, you will see all your rewards. And the good thing about this business is that you can pass this business to your family, but we're going to touch that a little bit later. Okay. Next question.
It's my turn. My question is for those who say to you that they don't have time to start a business, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, we hear this a lot because you know that the first step to join the business is you have to register and watch a 90-minute webinar. And I don't know how many times I have heard about, I don't have time to watch the webinar. Well, I'm sorry again, but if you don't have time to watch a webinar, then you're not serious about starting your business. Because the business is going to take a good time at the beginning, when you do the training, when you're setting up your pages and all that. And it's going to be more than 90 minutes. So if you don't have 90 minutes at the beginning to watch the webinar, then you're not going to be serious. You're not going to take your business serious later on, But going back to that, it's a skill that we learn here in the business with the training. Time management is a big deal. You really have to set times for everything you have to do throughout the day. Like I told you guys at the beginning, I am a mother. I have a full-time job, and I also do my business, and I do a lot of lives throughout the week with some of my business partners that are here, lovely ladies. But I know that some days are going to be hard, but I have what do you call it? I know what my responsibilities are, and if I already committed to doing something, I'm going to do it regardless of how I feel. If I'm sick, if I'm tired, if I'm running. Sometimes I come here and it's almost time, and I'm running to get my computer going, but I know what I got to do. And that's why I have times, already scheduled. And yes, things happen, life happens, life is life for everyone. And not everything goes as planned sometimes. But then again, we have to do our part and make sure that we're meeting our deadlines and doing the things that we have to do. So I think we all have time. There's 24 hours in the day. And yes, I don't know how many times I have gone to sleep at midnight or past that doing the stuff that I have to do for my business. But that's because I know that at the end, I'm gonna get my goal. I'm gonna meet my goal. I'm gonna get to where I want to get in life. Because if you don't do that, if you keep doing the same thing over and over, the things that you're doing now, um, then you're not going to see a change in life. To see a change in life, you really have to be persistent, to be, very educated as far as what's the right thing and the right time to do the things that you have to do. So I think there's time if you really want to change in life.
And just to add on to what Isabel just said, we've already watched the Olympics, right? A lot of these athletes that have dedicated their time, their energy, and their money into performing and doing these events, right? For once every 3 to 4 years. So I feel like it comes down to what is the most important to you, right? It's all about your mindset, especially when you do anything in life, just as Isabel was sharing. It's all about your mindset. Are you really committed? Is this something that you truly want? And when it comes to, time management and balancing our time, we have this word called priorities, right? What do you prioritize most? And again, it all comes down to time management, and yourself that you have a variety of responsibilities. And the more you practice and the more you try different strategies to help you complete those tasks, especially with the kind of business that you are running, over time, it gets more, not easier, but it gets more manageable for you to do, right? Just wanted to add on to what Isabel was sharing.
Thank you, Jerusha.
Hi, everyone. I also want to add something to this. Hi, everyone.
I'm a little bit to the live today, a little bit late for everyone that's watching. I know we have interviewing today, Isabel. My name is Jessie. I'm also form part of this amazing community, and I just want to add about this topic. For everyone that's watching us, we acknowledge the situation that you are in, and we acknowledge that you may be having some hard time on your life right now. But when you say you don't have time, what you mean, like what you really mean, you have to think about that. But understanding that you have the 8 to 5 to maybe 9 hours, to go to work your 9 to 5 hours, so you work for someone else for 9 to 10 hours, that with adding your traveling if you work far away where you live, like if you have that time to spend, give it that your time to that person, you will have time for yourself. You have to find a time for your own business. So if that's your case, what happened at that time, you just have to do, okay, I'm in this situation, I have a 9 to 5 job, I cannot give up, of course, because things are expensive, I have to pay my bills. But what time can I give it to my work, to my own business, that in the future it will give me results? Let's start with half an hour before you wake up. Half an hour, oh, sorry, before you wake up, no, sorry. Before you go to work, half an hour before you go to bed. Let me spend that 30 minutes on it. Also on your breaks, when you're on breaks at work, let me spend like 20 minutes. Just someone have a question, let me answer them, let me contact with someone else, let me talk about the business with someone else. Sometimes you don't need that much time. It's just about your time management and how much you want it. Because as soon as you start seeing results, you will put more time on it, because you will start prioritizing what things are giving you results. In the beginning, you say, well, I don't know, 10 minutes, but what? We all on the phone for 10 minutes looking at our families and our friends, and looking other people live, and that's normal. You can do that. But two, like if you're doing 10 minutes for that, the other 10 minutes, spend it on the business. So when someone is saying to all the viewers, you don't have time, think about this. Are you sure? I just answered, are you sure? Just put on a time paper, look at your time, you will find time for the business for sure. And more if it will give you results.
Thank you, Jesse. I just want to add a couple of more points about that. One of the things that Isabel mentioned about, watching the 90 minutes webinar, and a lot of time, people, they don't want to like watching the entire webinar. And when I was on watching on Instagram, I saw um, one of the business owners who say, if you have someone that you gave them an instruction and that person doesn't follow the instructions, then they're not ready to work with you. And it's true. Like
Really?
if the first step
Mhm.
is to watch the webinar, the 90 minutes webinar, if you don't have time to watch a 90 minutes webinar, then you're not ready to do the business, because the business requires commitment. So you have to, put time for it. The other point that I want to touch about it is the time management. I understand, like Jesse said, we have a lot of things, and when you start, you have your life, and then you start your business. And yes, it's gonna be a little bit of struggle at the beginning, because you are trying to adjust, with your personal life, your family time, and the business. But that doesn't mean that it's not feasible. You gotta find a way, how you can incorporate your business throughout the day and be able to do it. It's just a matter of organizing yourself. And yes, sometimes you have something scheduled and it doesn't work. You don't manage to finish everything, but that's okay. Just whatever you didn't finish, push it to the next day. But just keep going, and always try to find better ways to how to optimize your time management. And I'm one of the person that I'm working on it. I'm not perfect, for in terms of my time management, but I'm working on it, and I'm trying to find better ways to do it and organize myself. But this is a part of the learning curve, when you become a business owner. So I just wanted to mention that. And then the other one is, yeah, the other one is like, people when people say they don't have time. So let me ask you this: if you don't have time and you want to stay working on the same place, 9 to 5, um, is your life is gonna change? Like, time is gonna pass by. Is it gonna change? Are you gonna have more? Your salary is gonna increase, or are you gonna still be in the same place? So I just want to ask you that, because if you don't have time to change your life, you're gonna stay in the same place. And the thing is, like, a lot of people think that their job is gonna be there forever for them, but unfortunately, that's not the case. And we've seen so many cases, for example, like the pandemic. A lot of people got laid off. Sometimes it could be for health reasons. You have to stop working, and if you don't have a plan B, then you're going to be encountering a difficult situation. We had a guest this morning that he explained, he didn't have an emergency fund. And then they encountered themselves, that um, the money that they had saved wasn't enough. So then they decided to look for something else. But the question is, why wait until you get that wake up call? Why don't plan before that happen? So just wanted to say that. Oh, you already answered. Sorry, do you already ask a question, Jesse?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so Isabel, you ready? What were your initial concern when you decided to join this business?
Yes. I was always, or I have always been very shy. Like, I'm not like a social kind of person. Like, when there's big groups, or, I'm not the kind of person that is going to go talk to somebody that I don't know. And even if I have, like, my coworkers, for example, if they're a big group over there talking, I'm like, good for them, but I'm not going to go join, because I'm just that kind of person. I like to be with myself. I'm not a talker of any kind of way. And then the other thing, I'm not tech savvy. So those are the concerns I had for this business. I'm like, how are you going to do it? Because you don't talk, and you're not tech savvy. So how are you going to make it work for you? But even though I had those concerns, I decided to take action, and I decided to join the business, because, like I said, after I saw that it was working for other people, I'm like, if it works for them, it's gonna work for me too, right? I had watched so many testimonials about people that I resonated with, because they were shy, because they were not talkers, people that didn't have education, people that knew nothing about computers were doing the business. And so I was like, if they can do it, surely I can do it too, because I knew, well, I had a computer at work that I was doing, but I was using a system that, they gave me to work with. So that's all I knew how to use, because they gave it to me. And yes, at the beginning when I was at work and they gave me that, I was also worried and concerned that I wasn't going to know how to do it. But, after you train, and you do it over and over and over, at the end it becomes like everything else. You just do it because you know how to do it already. So I was like, if I did that, I went through all the stress and I learned how to do it for somebody else, surely enough I can learn how to do this business, because it's for me. It's for me and for my family. So that's why I decided to take action, even though I had those concerns.
Wow, it's amazing to hear, like, we all have concerns, and we all were kind of afraid at some point, because we all have our own, I would call, it's not disability, our own um like, we're not strong on something, and hearing them from you, it's really powerful, because in an interviews and that we do with you, you feel truly confident, you feel like really talkative, and see that change since you start, like when you say before the business and right now, it's just amazing, and it get you inspired in some way, because yes, you don't feel comfortable in the beginning. You were another person. They were like, oh, they're talking, a little bit awkward. But look at you right now. It's just showing, that this business is not just about, yeah, we are here because money part, but like how amazing and how good it is that you also grow, you know, you're completely grow in this business that doesn't have nothing to do with monetary, you know, like your health, your mental completely grow, and it's amazing to see that. So thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, for me, when I joined the business, I was not sure what to expect. Um, so one of my fears was when I started to receive all the emails, after joining the business, and I was like, because I work in the office, so I'm used to get a lot of stuff. But when I started seeing all this coming all at the same time, I was in my mind was like, oh my god, am I gonna be able to do this? Because like I felt like a little bit overwhelmed, but then like I try to breathe, and then try to go one by one and try to figure out, and that phase passed. Then after that, I realized, we needed to do lives. I mean, the go lives are not mandatory. Okay, it's optional if you want to do it, but for us, like to be able to people see us and to see that we're real people and get to know us. The only way to do that is doing live. So even though I work in the movie industry, I don't like to be in front of the camera. I like to be behind the camera. But if I want to change my life, and I have to do this, then I, I did it. So I started recording myself, first because I wasn't feeling comfortable, but eventually, I got comfortable seeing myself, and then pressing the live button. That was the other part that was scary. um, but then when I press it, I eventually, with a couple of practices, I got used to see myself, and I was fine for me because nobody was watching, so it was okay. But then one night, I thinking, like, oh, no one is gonna be watching me because it's late at night. It was like 11 p.m., and then suddenly someone is watching me, and I was like, oh no, everything that I had planned at that moment, it I forgot completely. And I was like trying to improvise and go along. But yeah, that was my first experience with having someone watching me, and it was very scary because I wasn't expecting it, and I wasn't used to have someone watching me. And then after that, we started doing lives with some of our business owners at the beginning. I started a little bit at the end of last year, and then at the beginning of this year. So just practicing, you start becoming better. So yeah, um, I can see the change, like from when I was at the beginning, when I first joined the business, to what I am now. And yes, I'm a shy person. Also, I'm not very social person, but I'm still working on that. But I'm getting there. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Oh, wait. Okay, just a second, Dance. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, Isabel, how did you react when you learned that social media would be a key part of the business?
That was one of my biggest fears, honestly. Like that's the one thing that held me back for months after, I started the business. Um, I already knew that I had to create content, for my business and that I had to post for my business, but I never really thought about the part where I had to be on camera, where I had to go live, where I have to talk in front of people. And when I found out that it was time for me to actually run my first ad and I had to record it, to put it out there, I was so afraid to do it. Like for 2 months or more, it was time to take that step and I wasn't ready. Every time when I thought about it, I was like, no, no, not yet. Just leave it for later. Until one day, I'm like, well, what good does it do to have a business if you're not going to do the essential part? So, I decided to make my ad. And my first ad, you know, I don't know. One day I will share it with you guys, but it was bad. Like I didn't know what I was saying, I don't think. And I was so nervous and like I didn't know, because I didn't know that was the one part I feared the most, was recordings and just being in front of a camera. So I forgot the things that I was saying, and I don't think I was actually looking at the camera at the time when I was actually recording my ad, because I was so nervous about it. And I went to the convention months after I joined the business. We had the convention in Calgary, and everybody was like, going live and recording. And I saw everybody, and I had my phone, and I was like, you can do it too. But I was like, no, let's not do it. And one of my friends that actually went with to the convention, she's like, oh, I'm gonna start doing a live, and she was all happy and talking and just about dancing and doing stuff. And I was like, you can do this too. So I took my phone out, I went live. It took me seconds to decide if I wanted to press the live button or not. And I finally decided to do it. But as soon as I did it and I saw my face on the camera, I froze completely. I was like, not ready yet. And I took it off. I'm like, you're done. You're done with that. But that was my biggest fear, about this business, being on camera. But one day I was listening to somebody, and they said, how much are your dreams worth? What is it worth to you to change your life? What are all the things that you're going to do to get to where you want to be? And then I also heard, you have to get uncomfortable to be comfortable. And I was like, well, it's just part of it, just getting to the other side, or taking the next step, or going to the next stage or whatever. And I was like, you can do this. And so I started doing it. And nowadays it's just one of the other things I have to do. I don't really think about it. I don't get nervous. I don't like to go live when I'm like around a lot of people, because I feel that I'm, more than anything, I feel like I'm disrespecting them, because that they may get, in the camera, and they may think that I'm recording them on purpose. So I try not to go live when I'm out there with a lot of people. But if I have to, or if there's something really going on that I want to record, then I'll do it anyways, and it doesn't bother me anymore, because I know why. I have my why very clear, and I'm doing this for me, and I'm doing this for my family. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm not worried or concerned about what they have to say, or what they're going to think about me anymore. That's past. I'm done with that. So that's what happened at the beginning, though.
Yeah. Me, well, for me, like the part of the life, like this kind of life, I'm more okay now. But in terms of going live, on the streets, like trying to record myself, I still feel not comfortable doing that. I'm still working on it. But I think I'm getting better. But yeah, the same thing, I'm thinking, what people are gonna think that, seeing me recording live, but yeah, it's something that, like Isabel say, like if you want to change your life, then you start, you do what you have to do, and in this case, it's all about mindset. It's all about, overcoming your fears, because it's really, like the fear that you have, of what people are gonna say, think about you, what when you are out there trying to record yourself. And even this, like at the beginning, like I wasn't, like too sure, like people are gonna see me, what are they gonna think about, when I'm going live. But those are phases that, as a business owner, you transition, as you go along. And then eventually, it's normal what you do, and you don't, like Isabel said, you don't care about what other people think, because you are doing it because you are working towards that goal, and is have that financial freedom, that stability, and that more flexibility and time to be with your family and your loved ones. So sometimes you gotta do what you have to do if you wanna change your life. Okay, so the next question.
Okay, Isabel, what are some of the most significant benefits you have experienced since joining the business?
Well, I think, well, I don't think, I'm sure it's personal growth. Personal growth is huge. I'm not the same person that I was a year ago when I started this business, because the training, the practice, the people that I'm surrounding myself with has given me the confidence to become the better version of me. And, all that I still have to learn, and really feel more 100% confident about myself. But I love the fact that I learn a lot, and my way of thinking has changed so much, because now my mindset is different, and now instead of wasting time, doing things that are not going to give me anything in return, I spend a lot of time in actually listening to podcasts, signing up for classes on personal growth, on changing for the better, instead of just hanging out with friends or watching a movie or not doing anything that it's not going to give me value. It's not going to add value to my life. So um, this has really changed my life, because I can see the growth that I have had since the beginning to now. And yes, a lot of people think, well, I want to join the business because I want money in return. But, I'm very happy that you get a lot in return, when you join this business, because it's not only money. You're going to get, confidence. You're going to grow as a human being. You're going to meet people that have the same goals as you, and they're working hand in hand with you, and they're going to give you, their point of view about what worked for them, what didn't work for them, what you can do to get better, or what you can do to change some of the things that you may not be doing 100% correctly. So now I know that I'm in the right path, and I know that my change has started, and I can see the results, and I can see all these good things, that before I was living a cycle that it was repeated over and over again, because I wasn't doing anything to change it. I wasn't thinking out of the box. I wasn't focused on really changing my life and adding value to all the things that I could do, the version that I could become, because I didn't know that I was capable, and I didn't have the skills needed to do this business. But I've been gaining and learning so many skills, because everything is learnable in life. So don't ever feel like you're not good enough to do something, because once you change that mindset and you decide to take action and really change your life, you're going to find a way, and you're going to get better at everything that you do.
We are truly inspired.
Sandy, you're muted.
Thank you. Um, yeah, I think if we can see a lot of the business owners, like if we evaluate ourselves, when we started this business to where we are right now, we can see the changes that we have made in ourselves. One is gaining more self confidence, because that's one of the things that sometimes we don't feel confident, and by doing this business, we start gaining that confidence, and in different areas, for example, for some people is the technical skills, they didn't have that area, so they're learning that part. For other people, is going lives, which was my case. But also, like Isabel mentioned, there's so many things that we gain from this business, and like all the knowledge, working on our mindset, be having a more open mindset, and be able to think outside of the box, and see all the possibilities that we have in front of us. Like before, we probably had a very narrow mindset. So now, be able to see things that might look like a setback, but you can turn it into an opportunity. um, for example, like a lot of people during the pandemic, some of them, they got laid off, but they turned that setback into an opportunity and created their own business. So that's, like opening your mindset and trying to think different. And in this business, you learn a lot of skills that I didn't have. For example, I didn't know anything about advertising. So I learn a lot of advertising here, and I keep learning every time, because um, technology keeps changing. And another one thing that we learn is the artificial intelligence. I always heard, like before, like so many, but I didn't really understand. It was until I came to this business that, I started to understand how to use the ChatGPT, for example. So yeah, so this business give so many benefits. A lot of people see them, financially, but it's not only financially that you get. It's also, from personal, being for your personal experience, becoming a better person, having an open mind, working on your mindset, um, and learning all these new things that you didn't know before. Also on social skills, because in this business you have to learn to be social and be able to deal to talk to a lot of people, different backgrounds, different ethnicities. So that requires for you to be able to have social skills. um, the other things I would say to in regards to this is, um, you get benefits, like spending more time with your family, have that flexibility that you can arrange, your business according to your day. So there's so many of these benefits. We do have some other ones that I want to mention, but we that's our next topic later on, so we're gonna wait for that. Anyone else wanted to add something else?
Sandy, can I add something else?
Sure.
You mentioned about the pandemic, how it came and changed so many lives in so many different ways. And some people were impacted. Everyone was impacted in some kind of way. But some people decided to play the victim because things happened to them. And some people decided to take that moment to really change their life because they had the time to think about, all that was happening and how it could impact them later on if something was to happen. So I just want to say that you can play two roles in life. You can be the victim or you can be the leading actor in your life. You have the power to change it if you really want to change it. So you can play either role and you will get the results that you focus on. If you want to be the victim, you know what you're going to get because everything is going to be negative in life. Or you can be the leading actor and really decide to take action and change your life for the better.
Yes. Thank you, Isabel. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next question.
Isa, how this business shape your thought on leaving legacy for your family?
You know, it's a great question because, like I said, I've been working since I was young, and I was always thinking, how we're always taught and trained that you go to work and you work for somebody else and you save money for whatever things that may come up in life, and then you have a retirement plan for when you retire, you're gonna have that money. But come to think about it, that money's not going to be enough. And I don't want to work till I'm 67 or 70. Who knows what the age is going to be by the time it's time for me to retire. So, and then thinking about this business that is not only going to provide for me, but that I can leave it for my kids. It's a legacy I'm creating for my family, because they can run it after I'm gone. They can continue with everything that I have done in the business. And this is not something you can get in a job. They're not going to give you anything because you're working for them and you get a paycheck in return. But at the end of the day, the day that they decide that they don't need you, the day that you're not producing what they need you to produce it in a day, they're just gonna let you go, and you're not gonna have anything to take with you because you were working for somebody else. Running this business, you're actually running something for you, something that is going to be 100% for you. And not only that, you can leave it for your kids. they will be able to continue this business after you're gone. And yes, a lot of people, like I told you guys, my family or my sisters and brothers have traditional businesses, but when they're not here, they're gonna leave it behind. But you don't know if their kids want to do that. You don't know if they want to keep running that business, especially after they have seen, a lot of times the kids feel bad that their parents invested sometimes in that business and they didn't have time for them, to spend a weekend or to go on a vacation and stuff like that. So I don't know if they will want to do that. But this business that I'm leaving, this legacy that I'm going to leave for my kids, they don't have to invest that much time, because they will have, look, I already did the hardest part for them, right? The beginning, the starting of the business. So they're not going to have so many struggles to deal with later on in life when I'm not here.
So yes, well say, for all our viewers, that's one of the quality that we like, this business that we're in, the business we're offering you today, because it's, you can pass it on to just not just to your kid, you can even pass it on to any family member. And that is amazing. Not all the business out there are you able to do that. And let's be real. Let's see, I'm a nurse. It's not like I can pass my my job to my kid, or give it to my niece or something like that, because for that, to get that job, you need to have go to school, have the qualifications for it, to get at least something similar what I have. And it will not be guaranteed that you get the same spot I have right now. So just to have that in our business pattern and our business platform. Sorry, my English is not the best to everyone that know me. But yes, it's really good. It's really good, and we are really proud of it. And Isabel just went through it pretty good. But just think about it, to all the viewers that are watching us. It, where can you do that? So why not try it? And it's something that you put time and you can say, okay, it worked for me. I'm set. I reached my goal or whatever, but I still can pass it out to my kids in any time. So it's really amazing.
Thank you. Okay, so let's go to the next question.
Thank you very much, Isabel, for continuously inspiring me with me and I guess the rest of us watching. So here's more questions for you. What advice would you give to someone who is thinking about starting this business?
Thank you for the question. It's, I don't want to say the same thing we always say, take action. I want the viewers or our followers to really think about it, like sit down and think about um, where do they see their lives in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years. Like really think about it, because I think a lot of times we don't even think about that. Like, what do we want out of life, and what are we doing to ensure that we're going to have um, the freedom, not only financial but time freedom, to be with our families and to provide for them in case something was to happen. Because if you don't take action, if you don't look for a plan B, if you don't think about the things that would happen if for some reason you were to lose your job, then when are you going to think about it? When are you going to take action? When are you going to get that plan B going? um, this is the right time. $149 to join is not a huge amount of money, really. If you think about it, you spend that money. I don't know. I don't know what your life is like, but maybe going out to the movies, if depending on what the size of your family is like, going out to dinner. $149 is not a huge amount to start, to get the information that you want, to see if this business is the right fit, if this is something that you want to do. And don't let anything hold you back. Like I told you at the beginning, don't think that, oh, I don't know anything about computers, I'm not about social media, I'm shy. Don't let those things hold you back, because I was the same way. I didn't know anything about, how to run a social media, how to post, how to create content, how to talk in front of a camera. I didn't know any of that. And I'm learning every day. I'm learning, and every day I can see an improvement because I'm investing and I believe in myself more than anybody else, because other people are going to say, you know, they're going to think that you're not going to be able to make it, but you're the only one who knows what you're capable of. Don't let anybody stop you, because you can do it and you can make a difference if you take action today. So don't let anybody hold you back.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
so much.
much.
Yeah. Okay, so we have arrived to the end of our live. So just doing a little recap of what we touched today on our live. So we introduced, who is Isabel. So for people who doesn't know Isabel, they get to know her, a little bit of her story. Also, how, she discovered this business opportunity, and how many of us also discovered the opportunity. Um, Sorry. And then the other one is about, if you have someone who is skeptical, about the business when they first learn about the business. And we talk also a little bit about, the initial investment, required. So how our mindset was at the time when we find out about the initial investment. Another point that we touched was the time. People, a lot of time people say, I don't have the time to do this, but there is time. There's 24 hours in a day. So if you really manage your time, you have time to do the business. um, so the other point that we touched was about the initial concerns. When a lot of people, before joining the business, have a lot of concern. Am I going to be able to do this business because I don't have any technical skills, or I'm not a social media person. So different reasons. There are different concerns that people have, before joining the business, because they think they're not capable. But anyone is capable. We have people from 18 years old doing the business all the way to 85 years old. So if an 85 years old can do the business, so can you. Okay, so the other point that we also touched was, um, how do we react when we knew that we needed to do social media? That's a lot of thing. One of the points that, yeah, a lot of people, when they find out that they have to do social media, they're like, oh, I don't like to do social media. I don't like to be in front of the camera. But then again, it's all about mindset. Do you really want to change your life? So if you want to change your life, you have to do what you have to do. Yes, it's not mandatory, but it's a way that you can connect with the people on the other side that are looking at you. They get to know you, who you are. You're a real person. You're not a AI profile, just talking. So the other point that we touched was the benefits that we get from the business. So there's so many benefits that we get from the business. I know a lot of people think, also think about it, the only benefit is financial, but it's not true. We get so many other benefits. Changing our mindset, growing, as a person, and as a individual, and as a business owner. We can see the changes, from when I started the business to where we are today. And also, like, just to mention, for those people who are already successful in our business, their initial, everyone, when they come to this business, is to find more financial stability and all that. But once they get that financial stability, their priorities change to something else. So it doesn't, it's not anymore about financial. It comes, to other things, like helping other communities, helping organizations that need help, financially, or giving your time to volunteer in those organizations. So it's just, like, it's so many ways that your this business can benefit, not only to you but to other organizations too. um, we also touch a little bit about the legacy. Yeah, the legacy that you can leave to your family. Like, if you have a job, you cannot pass your job to your family. um So that's why, like, this business is good because, if something happens to you, your family, whoever you wanted to pass this business to, they they will start from where you left, and they'll continue. So a lot of people, that join this business because they want to give that stability to their kids in the future. They don't want them to uh, go through the same struggles that they went to be able to sustain them, in life. So they want a better future for them. If they decide to go, and study and do whatever, that's their decision, but at least they have that financial stability. The other thing, well, yeah, and lastly, Isabel touched about, the advice that she will give to someone who wants to start the business. So if you guys want to follow us in our pages, I know it's kind of small, but you guys want to mention each one of your pages. So starting by with Isabel. So how can they find you, Isabel? Okay, let me just say the pages because I think I can see it bigger. Okay, so if you want to follow Isabel, you can follow her on her business page, which by Isabel Vargas Network. And then Iran's, you can follow her in Iran's Perez Caballero. And then Dorothy on Dorothy Maitiongo. And then,
Dorme. It's
Dor-
dormetionko.com.
oh no, that's the website. I'm talking about the Facebook page.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No,
Dorothy
no
Tionko.
worries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then Jerusha, you can find her on Jerusha Sartiga or Empower Jerusha. Also, Jessie, you can find her on Yesenia Rodriguez Vera. And then Bill and Jen, that you can find her on A Better Tomorrow with Bill and Jen. And then you can find me, Sandy, to Empower Lives. And also, if you want to learn more about the business, you can follow us on our you can register in our website, that appears on the screen. So that one I think is readable, but I'll read it just in case. So Isabel is www.isabelvargasnetwork.com, and Edens is www.edenscaballero.com, and Sis Dorothy is www.dormetionco.com, and Jerusha is www.empowerwithjerusha.com. Jesse is www.jesserodriguez.com, and Bill and Jen is www.abettertomorrowwithbillandjen, and mine is at www.sandy to empower life. So yeah, so you can register in our website with your name and email address, and we can send you the link to the webinar, to the live webinar if you are on Thursdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the replay, we can send you also the link to the replay. And then if your English is not that strong, don't worry. The replay will have subtitles, so you can watch it in any language. You also get an invitation to our private Facebook group, so where you can see more successful stories of our business owner, and a little bit more about the business plan. And I just want to mention that when you register into our website, don't think that you're joining the business right away, because a lot of times, people think that they're joining the business as soon as they register, and no, that's not the case. When you register to the website, you have the opportunity to learn more about the business. So it's a free information session that you can watch. It's a 90 minutes session that you can watch and know a little bit about the plan, and you can hear more testimonials of business owners of the community. So no, you're not starting the business. So at that time, if you decided to proceed, that's when you pay the $149, where you hear and you will see more about the business, all the different income streams and all that. So let me just show you, for those who want to watch the replay. Jesse, do you want to start with the top?
Sure. So this is our last replay that happened on Thursday, August 22. We have our host was Rebecca. She's bio planner. We also have May. She's a health administration assistant. We also have Tina. She's a registered nurse. And we also have Alma. She's a registered nurse.
Jerusha? Oh, hold on.
So just move it just a little bit up. I can only see their names, not their
Oh, yes.
occupation.
Sorry, my bad.
No worries, no worries.
There you go.
So we also have Maida, who is an OR nurse, another co-panelist, Abis Ko, who's a former public school teacher, Joiz, who's a full-time mom, and Jonathan, who is also a registered nurse.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so if you want to watch the replay, just register on our website that appear on the screen, and we'll send you the replay so you can watch the webinar. So we want to thank all the viewers who watch us today, and also those watching the replay. Thank you for all your emojis, your comments, um, and for watching. And of course, we want to thank our guest today, Isabel, for taking some of her time
Thank
today
you, Elisa, for your time.
and sharing, your story with the audience.
Thank you so much. I just want to say one last thing, build your
Later.
dreams or someone else is going to hire you to build it.
So okay. Okay, so we want to thank all the viewers again, and we want to wish you a happy Saturday. Whatever time it is. Here is 4:29, so I guess for you guys are like 7:29, almost 8 o'clock. And so yeah, have a good night, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And until the next episode of Empower Biz Life. Good night,
Thank you for
everyone.
watching.
Good night.
Good night.